Good day, everyone. Finally Sunday. So yeah, let's do like electronic oral talks, whereby we'll go back to attend some comment section, because this channel is nothing without you guys. So I believe we have to move together. We have to move from point A to point B together, because this channel is nothing without you guys. So what I want to do, we started a program whereby on every Sunday we are having electronic oral talks repairs, whereby we start to fix things on air, we start to attend to comment section. So let's go on desktop. Here I am on the dashboard, YouTube Studio dashboard for the comment section. So we have this comment like few minutes ago. It's from one of our subscribers. He's saying, yes, this laptop ever returned since you fixed it. He's talking about this laptop. You remember this video, 2 hours ultimatum which I was given by a customer to fix the laptop. It's like the customer bought the laptop at our shop and he used it for like a day, if I do remember, and the laptop came back coming on with the problem with the backlights. It was coming on displaying, but there was no light. And I fixed this laptop. If you check this video, I fixed it on my way. The laptop went and it never returned. This laptop never came back. And thank you for the comment. All your videos, thanks for all your videos. I think your voice sound is too loud. Perhaps you could have more viewer if sound was better. The quality of your repairs is very good and should be seen by more people. Thank you for the feedback. On the issue of sound, I'm using OBS to record all the videos, and on the issue of sound, I think I'm using a bad microphone. That's what I think. That's what I think. Because if you check here, let's go to settings, to settings of my PC, system, sound, input. If you go on device properties, you see the volume is at 40. You see, even below half this volume, I set it at 40. Even on the settings of OBS, if you go on OBS here, if you check here on advanced audio settings, it's at 40%. Volume is at 40%. So I've done all what I can to suppress the volume of my microphone, but still people, they are still comment about the bad side of my microphone. I think the only way is to acquire another one, but at the moment I'm still financial stuck, and if I get money for sure, I'll promise to buy another microphone. It's very cheap. It's very cheap. Okay. Let's see other comments. Tell us how you started, years of experience and challenges faced. Good work as usual. How I started. I would say how I started. I started electronics when I was a little boy. I think around I think around 2005, 2006. Yeah, somewhere there, 2005, 2006, when I was at high school. I was doing like 8 subjects at high school, and I was doing biology, science, all the sciences subject, chemistry, physics. But yeah, at that moment, I developed some interest with science, and they were doing like, those school clubs, horticulture, music, and the other stuff. And I chose science and innovation. That's where I started to have some interest. And the teacher which was teaching me during those guys was a funny teacher. We used to call him Ohm's Law. That was his nickname by that time. That guy taught me a lot about electronics. Not about electronics, about science. Huh? The fundamental of science. He teach me Ohm's Law. He teach me a lot of things which I then replicate when I grow up, and I finished high school. You know my story. I did not start doing this job. I was in the force. I joined the ZRP, Zimbabwe Republic Police, and when I joined the Zimbabwe Republic Police, I was some kind of, you know what? I have that feeling. You know, when you start something, life, you have that kind of feeling that this job is not the right job which I'm supposed to do. I was not meant to be a police officer. So I served like 3, 4 years, and then I quit. And from that moment, I stick with the electronics. That was 2013 up to now. I stick with an electronics. I really love doing repairs. Yeah, I like doing experiments, doing my own electronic projects. I've done a lot. Here we have a polytechnic. Students, they are coming. I'm helping them to do their projects. Apart from repairs, yeah, I'm doing other things. I'm into entrepreneur. But on the electronic, how I started, I started at that time when I realized that I was on the wrong path. When I realized that I was on the wrong path, I switched to electronics. And electronics, you don't need a teacher. You don't need a teacher. Of course, a teacher is there to teach you some basic theory, and you have to apply that into practical. So whatever I learned at high school, I started afresh, and after years of experience, yeah, um, I, I master everything on the motherboard. Now, if I touch a motherboard, I know this is a MOSFET, this is a capacitor, this is a diode, how a diode is supposed to behave in a circuit. This is a rectifier bridge. These are some regulators. These are resistors. This is a fuse. I know all those components and what they are supposed to do in a circuit. So the basics about learning how the best way you can learn electronics is to do like those DIY projects. Start to build things on your own, and you know the basics, because if you know how a linear power supply is working and how a switching power supply is working, trust me, 90% of the faults you can able to figure it out and fix them. All the challenges that I faced, obvious, no one is going to teach you practical. That's a fact. If you want to learn how to do electronic repairs, you can go to school, they teach you theory, but no one is going to teach you the practical side. So the challenge that I face, I burn a lot of things. I burn a lot of things. Not only to burn a lot of things, but on TVs, I break a lot of screens, especially when I wanted to check. I open the TV. I know this TV has problem with backlights. I said, let me take out the screen and replace the backlights. The moment I finish to fix the backlights and put back the screen, you find, oh, the screen has a diagonal line or has some vertical lines. I try with different cables and it's not working. So the challenges which I faced along the process of learning, when you are learning, my best advice, don't learn with the customers' devices. If you are to learn electronics, find other devices which when you mess up, you won't have problem with customers. My mistake which I did, I was learning using customers' devices. And on TVs, I faced many challenges. I broke like 3, 4, 5 TVs screens. And at that moment, you have to buy another TV. You negotiate with the customer. I think I've done something wrong, or I broke a screen by mistake. I can find you another TV. You pay up, I'll top up. I'll find another TV for you. Things like that. So my best advice, if you are to do this, avoid the customers' devices along the process of learning. I fixed the SRX553M laptop this morning because I watched your video yesterday. The second most input MOSFET was shorted. Thank you so much. If I can do something that can help someone from afar, I think that fills me, that feeling that I managed to help someone who is not even here. I just feel good about that. Thank you so much for the feedback. Good job, Mr. BST. I want to be a technician like you. Which course should I take and which books should I read? I see you. You can troubleshoot and repair various electronic devices, gadgets. I am expired. This is a big comment. Good job. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I think this is a local subscriber based on the name Farai Shangasha. I think this guy is a Zimbabwean. And what the guy is saying, which course should I take? On the course side, you can do anything. You can do electronic engineering. But when you do electronic engineering, mostly when you finish the course, because that course will take you for 5 years. Here in Zimbabwe, is being done by NAST. You can do that for 5 years. I did that course for 5 years. After finishing my A level, I did electronic engineering. But most of the people, when they done such course, they look for greener pastures. But on my side, I wanted to create the green pastures on my own. I didn't want to work for someone. So that's why I choose to do repairs. But after doing that course, you see, you have some opportunities. People, they have different thoughts about about surviving ways. Some people, they want to be employed. They want to go to school. They learn. After learning, they get a job. But on my side, I wanted to go to school. I learn. After learning, I start to do my own things. I didn't want to fall under someone. So you can do electronic engineering, you can do computer science, you can do many courses. But after doing those courses, you should do it by your own. Just try to build to buy basic tools. Multimeter, cheap multimeter, all-in-one water station, adjustable DC power supply. and you start to do some experiments and see how things work. Huh? So I like your video and explanation. Is there any way to power on the laptop if you don't have MOSFET for replacement? Yeah, let me see the video. Which video is this one? I think this was the second MOSFET, which was shorted. And is there any way to power on the laptop without the, if you don't have the MOSFET? You know what? As long as you are a technician and you are doing repairs, you can take any MOSFETs from any power supply. Let me do it like this. Let's take any motherboard here. Yeah, this is an old motherboard. Let me see, even this one. Okay. You see this motherboard? This is some kind of old SR laptop motherboard. You have some coils, you have some coils, you have some coils. All these coils, they represent power supplies. So even if, yeah, the input MOSFET is supposed to be here, all they are missing. So if you don't have this MOSFET, this is just like a wire. The input section, I explained about the input section. We have the charging port here. We have the charging port and we have the plus. We have the ground, which is going here. The plus is going to a MOSFET, it's going to another MOSFET, and it's going to a current resistor. This is the VCC point. This is M to the power 1 and M to the power 2. 4 pins together, which is a drain. Here we have 4 pins together, which is also drain. Here we have 3 pins together and 3 pins together. This is our source. And we have the gate. The gate pins, they are going to the power management chip. In our case, our power management chip is the BQ chip. Battery charging controller. So from this point, the voltage is going everywhere. This is the VCC point, and from this point, the voltage is going everywhere. So if you don't have, suppose you don't have this MOSFET, or you don't have even both MOSFET, you can jump from here, from the plus of the charging port, to this current resistor with a wire. By doing so, you are passing the 19 volts from the charging port to the motherboard. These MOSFETs, what they are doing, they are just acting as gatekeepers. If anything happens on the motherboard, they are cutting down the power here. That's what these MOSFETs are doing. So if you don't have the MOSFET, you can take this MOSFET from any power supply. Where's that motherboard? You can take it. You can take this even from the processor here. We have those MOSFETs. You can take it and put them on the input section. They must work the same. What matters, you have to know how to replace a MOSFET. If it's a channel P, you must replace with a channel P. If it's a channel N, you must replace with a channel N. I explained this thing many times. Channel N channel is 2, 4, 6. P channel is 1, 3, 5. The last digit written on the MOSFET, if it's an even number, 2, 4, 6, that is an N channel. If it's an odd number, that is a P channel. But the easiest way, even if you are not sure about this, you can go on Google. Go on Google, just search on the number written on top of the MOSFET. That you can separate whether it's a channel P or it's a channel N MOSFET. So here you can replace with a wire to some model of motherboards. Get me right here. Don't misquote me. You can use on some certain model of laptops, but on a new model of laptops, probably you can't do that. You have to look for the MOSFET and you replace them. Huh? So that's the story. That's the story about the MOSFET. Please, what is the brand name of the multimeter you are using? The multimeter which I'm using, this one, this is a CV, this is a VC 8145 dual display multimeter. Where I bought this multimeter, I bought it on AliExpress, and I'm sure, yeah, you see this one? That's the exactly multimeter that I'm using on my desk. You see, it's a VC8145 dual display multimeter. I have more than 2 years using this multimeter, and I don't have any problem. Why I choose this multimeter? The number one is very cheap. It's 106. Here, this shipping is made expensive. You see the shipping, 368. But if you check, if you give a time on AliExpress, you check, I'm sure you will find some suppliers with the low shipping cost. Yeah, and you can choose and you can buy this one. And why I choose this one? Because this is a bench. This is a bench multimeter. Yeah, it's using AC. I like the old I like those small multimeters here, where after maybe 1 month, 2 months, you have to change the battery. Yeah, I bought this one long ago. I'm still using it. It's still fine, but I love the bench one. Huh? I love the bench one. I love the bench one. So that's the multimeter which I'm using. Huh? If you want to order it, just search by that name. It's a VC 8145 dual display multimeter. If you check on AliExpress, even on eBay, Amazon, you'll find many. Huh? So how do you know if the MOSFET is an N channel or P channel by numbers? You usually go online and check. I think I just answered this one. I just replied this subscriber. Great job. Is the BQ chip same as the PD controller? Yeah? People, they're asking so nice questions. Yeah? People, they're asking so nice questions. Huh? He's talking about the BQ chip and the PD controller. Huh? The BQ chip and the PD controller. What the BQ chip is doing, this is the charging controller. The battery charging controller, what it's doing, it is managing the charging circuit. It's controlling the amount of current that is being outputted on the, you see here, if you check on this motherboard, we have the battery connector here, we have this coil, and on the other side we have those missing places which is meant to be the MOSFET, and that's the BQ chip here. So the BQ chip is managing the amount of current that is being sent on the output of this power supply to charge the battery. Yeah? And the amount of is dealing with the amount of current and voltage to charge the battery. Yeah? That's what this BQ is doing, the BQ chip. But on the PT controller, this PT controller, if you found the motherboards, which what I found based on experience, I found some motherboards here, they have this PT controller and they have also the BQ chip. Yeah? And what this PT controller is doing is managing USB Type-C charging ports. Yeah? Some laptops, they are using USB-C charging ports. And those USB charging ports, they have so many pins. So many data line pins, which are managing by this PT controller. And what this PT controller is doing also is creating the main power rail. In some new model of laptops, here we have 19. This 19 is not going to the rest of the motherboard. It's going to this power supply. You see power supply with coil, and you see power supply with a coil, and we have like a MOSFETs, like 4 MOSFETs, M1, M2, M3, M4, and we have this PT controller. And this PT controller is managing the USB-C input voltage, and is also creating the main power rail. Can be, I found on many laptops here on the charger we have 19 volts, but here on all the coils we have between 12 to 16 volts, depending with the motherboard. So this is stepping down the 19 volts to either 12 point something, 13 point something, 14, 15, 16 point something volts. So this is doing a lot. On these old motherboards, which doesn't have USB-C charging ports, you will never find a PD controller there. What you found there is the BQ chip. This PD controller, this is the new model which was invented by engineers on the USB-C charging ports, which is managing the input voltages and also stepping down the 19 volts and creating the main power rail, which is lesser than 19 volts. Because on this new model of laptop motherboards, on all the motherboards like this one, this is an ESA motherboard. Here the battery, which is supposed to work here, when the battery is empty, must be 10.8 volts, and when the battery is fully charged, it's 12.6 volts. This is the old batteries, but on new batteries I found 7.6 volts empty and 8.4 volts fully charged on some kind of inbuilt batteries. So this battery ratings is being managed by the PD controller, because the PD controller, even with the 12 volts on main power rail, can charge this kind of battery. But here we can't have a PD controller on all the laptop motherboards. I think I answered this question properly. That's what I think, according to my own understanding. Okay. What comments do we have there? Yeah, if you can't, can you not find a replacement motherboard, or it's not cost effective? That was a TV board. Yeah, you know the mystery with those 12 volts, the small TV, those 19-inch, 20, 21-inch, those TVs, trust me, the processor is dying so easily. I found many motherboards with a dirty processor. And sometimes it's worth it to replace the motherboard if you can't fix it. Just for the sake of time. For the sake of time, I think it's worth to replace the motherboard if you can't fix it, or if you can't get the required part. I have a BIOS issue on HP 635. After reprogramming the laptop, E.T.C chip becomes hot and no power on the board anymore. If you see something like that, maybe you have reprogrammed the BIOS chip with the wrong firmware. Because this is not supposed to happen. If you program with the nice BIOS bin file, the motherboard has to work. But if you see, after reprogramming, maybe the laptop was coming on with no display, and after doing that, you put another bin file, it's no longer even coming on. That is the moment that you know that you have to back up the old bin file before you format the BIOS chip. That is my style. Just in case of if you can't find the exact bin file that is working, you can put the old bin file and you return the laptop at its original state. That's very important. We don't want people who cause further damage to the device. Like the laptop coming on is not displaying. After you have done something on the motherboard is not even turning on at all. It is something which is not good. If we are talking on the professional side, if someone bring in your device for repair, you must return it on its original state if you can't fix the device. So let me see. If I still have something. How do you charge a battery using an inverter? Someone is asking me how to charge a battery using an inverter. It's very simple to charge the battery using an inverter. Because on the way how things works, let me use this side. The way how things works, here we have some solar panels. This is solar. What the solar panel they are doing, the solar panel, they are taking solar energy, and this solar energy is being put to some batteries. We have some batteries here, some 12 volts battery, and after the batteries, what do we have? We have an inverter. This inverter is changing these 12 volts to 200 something, 220, 230 AC here. And here we have your appliances. We have some fridges, some TVs, whatever appliances that you are using. And here some people, they are putting regulator here. They are putting a regulator just to stabilize the voltage that is coming from the batteries. They are putting some regulator between the inverter and the batteries just to regulate the 12 volts, to make it stable so that nothing will happen to the inverter and the other devices there. So how to charge the battery using an inverter? Huh? We have to understand few things here. Because this battery is on the input. Huh? This battery is before the inverter. Because in order, this battery is storing 12 volts and can be 12 volts battery, can be 24, can be 40 volts battery. And this battery is before the inverter. And this inverter is stepping up this voltage to high voltage, which is AC here, for your appliances. So if you want to charge the battery using the inverter, it means you must find something which is going to step out this AC to 12 volts. Yeah? I think I will make a video in the future how to change from how to step down 220 230 AC to back to 12 volts to charge appliances. Yeah? I think I need to do that in the future. But at the moment, we are still at the moment where we should not do complicated things for the sake of the beginners. Because when I looked at the channel, most of the people, they are still in the learning process. So I should not start to do complicated repairs. Huh? So why a laptop is using 90 volts and the desktop is using 12 volts? Yeah, desktop they are using 12 volts and laptops they are using 19 volts. I think this subscriber was replied by another subscriber with all this content. You know, there are so many people outside there who are so helpful. Yeah, and one of the reason the laptop batteries they are working on 12 volts. If a laptop battery is 12 volts, obviously you need a higher voltage to charge a 12 volts battery. That is a simple reason. You can't use a 12 volts power supply to charge a 12 volts battery. Huh? That is the simple principles of electronics. You need a higher voltage to charge a lesser voltage battery. Huh? So that's the thing. Plus, it's about efficiency. They try to avoid bigger components because if you check on a 12 volts power supply for desktop, all the components there they are bigger. They are bigger components. Maybe they have too much power consumption. They are not economic, and they try to use small components which can carry more power. That's more efficient and more economic. Okay, so I think we have a nice time on a Sunday, and if you still have some questions, whether you don't understand something or you wish to understand something about repairs, don't hesitate to leave a comment, because we shall do these electronics oral repairs each and every time. The idea is to let everyone feel at home. I don't want to be any ignorant technician. I'm not a teacher. So people they email me saying, "You are a teacher. I want to learn this. You can teach me." To be honest with you, I can't teach anyone. The thing, I don't have time to teach anyone. But what I can do, I can try to pay attention to everyone's problem. But on the teaching side, you have to do it on your own. The best way to teach electronics is to do it on your own. Practice like self-repairs, self-experiments with components and see how things works. So people, they are looking for teachers to teach them. I'm not a teacher. I'm just sharing my repair experiences and the kind of faults that I'm coming across and how I'm fixing them. The way how I'm fixing is very important. If you watch a 20 minutes video or a 30 minutes video, the most important, according to me, what I think is the most important part is from the part that I start to diagnose until the part I found the fault. Replacing a MOSFET or a capacitor or a diode, everyone is capable of doing that with a hot air station or a soldering gun. But what I found, people, they are facing challenges. They are facing challenges on the diagnosis processes that lead us to say, oh, this MOSFET is our problem, this capacitor is our problem, this board, the processor is fault, I can't fix it. People, they are fighting with devices 2-3 hours. At the end, there's no joy because they can't know what to check. The chances of that motherboard to be repairable, they don't even time to assess, am I in a position to fix this or not? So yeah, I think we have some quality time together. Like, subscribe, don't forget to turn on the notification bell for future updates, and see you on the next one. Bye.